My wife's voice drifts through the hallway while I pretend to rinse a mug. Only half listening, caught between hearing and ignoring. It asks her weekly Zoom circle, the one filled with heart emojis and grateful comments, unfolding just in the living room beyond my view. Suddenly, I hear my name, not as her husband, but like an object in a story, a scenario she asks coaching someone about. She tells someone on the call, if he asks questions, don't explain. You don't owe him access. Say, I don't feel safe. End the conversation. Her voice is smooth, confident, like she has done this before, coaching someone on how to protect themselves from unwanted questions. My stomach tightens. I stay frozen, still holding the mug beneath the tap, as if the water needs more time to run. Caught in quiet dread. She warns, if he escalates, take screenshots not to punish, but to protect yourself. Soft laughter fills the group. Polite but heavy, someone jokes about men, confusing accountability with control. My wife adds dryly, mine's a good provider. Bad partner. My phone buzzes. A calendar invite appears. Couples session prep. Narrative and boundaries sent to our family iPad by mistake. Before I realize it, I open a shared document attached to the invite. The bullet points look like her. Clean, sharp, certainly. The first bullet line hits me like a shove. Chip becomes emotionally unsafe when confronted. The words sting. Cold and clinical. Don't face the living room. I slip into the pantry as if searching for spices, quieting my breath so it won't reveal me. This isn't about intimacy. It's strategy first. She's building a case file against me. Quietly and methodically. Scroll further and freeze. Examples listed under if he denies. Cite examples, but I don't recognize any of them. After reading that document, I went numb in a strange way. I got things done, answered emails, but felt like someone was tracking me constantly. The first night, I woke at 3:12 a.m., teeth clenched, same time every night, staring at darkness, replaying her voice like a haunting recording. By day, her jabs got lighter but sharper. Don't ask about feelings. He invoices those. Everyone laughed. I burned inside. Simple questions became interrogations. Asking to see the budget turned into accusations of financial control. Every word felt like walking on thin ice. Friends stopped inviting me directly. Replies grew shorter. Conversations changed. They waited for her cues before responding to me. It hit me she'd been running quiet briefings without me, shifting our social world behind my back. Changing how I was seen. Insisted on couples therapy not to heal, but to collect a professional witness. The thought made my skin crawl. Her phone, once face up on the counter, now lay face down. Lights flickering. She tilted away as if hiding secrets. At night she kissed my cheek, whispered softly, I need you not to make me feel unsafe tomorrow. Tomorrow was our first session. Before leaving, I decided no confrontation. Emotional heat would be twisted into evidence. So I stayed cold and quiet on purpose. I played dumb in safe ways, forgot small things. Agreed without fight. Gave up small points to lower her threat scan and keep peace. Over the day, her shoulders relaxed. He let down guards. That was the first real change. Comfort gave way to control. In therapy, Couch seemed designed to absorb conflict. She spoke rehearsed lines about boundaries, safety, and his avoidant, reactive nature. I spoke carefully, my voice calm and blank, kept my answers short, giving nothing for her to grab. The burn in my throat threatened to crack my mask. She watched me not with anger, but expectation, smiling softly, waiting for the moment my mask would slip. She turned my silence into a performance note. See, even now he is dissociating, said like a helpful observation. The room stopped feeling like a room. It became a file. Every word recorded, every nuance documented. Afterward in the car, she warned calmly. If I yelled, she'd protect herself. No fights, no yelling, just cold boundaries with warnings. At night, texts arrived while I lay awake. I can believe I married someone who scares me. Then, don't respond if you can be accountable. The texts were bait. Defend myself. Deny. Get mad. Be scary. Stay silent. Be avoidant. No wind. Only traps. After waiting for my pulse to slow, I typed one calm sentence. I hear you. I am focusing on respectful communication. Then I screenshot it. Later, her phone lit up on the counter contact saved as Sisterhood admin, same time tomorrow. He bought the safety story. It wasn't just therapy anymore. The schedule, a planned narrative she was scripting behind closed doors. I didn't touch her phone, not because I didn't want to, but because I needed proof, not guesses, patterns, not impulses. First change, I called a lawyer, carefully saying separation planning. Calm on the other end twisted my gut. It was no surprise. Second change, I built a private ledger, exact dates, phrases, therapy notes, public jabs, all recorded like car mileage. Third change, I moved important documents, passports, pay stubs to a secure folder only I could access, hiding valuables before a storm. Her calm didn't soften, but irritated her. At a friend's birthday, she joked I was doing better, but it felt like humiliation. Privately, she said, "You're so compliant lately." It's almost creepy, like I was a subject under scrutiny, not a partner's. Then she cornered me with a threat disguised as concern. She told Maya I am working on my anger and better not embarrass her by relapsing. Maya wasn't mine to manage, but suddenly I was responsible for how I was described. New witness, new leverage in her story. Another therapy session hit harder. She came armed with clinical case notes, polished and eerily rehearsed. Later, I overheard her warm, honeyed voice on the phone, assuring someone I wouldn't explode, that I am terrified of being seen badly. Then it clicked with cold clarity. She wasn't just cheating, she was reshaping my entire social identity. Controlled from behind the curtain, I opened our shared cloud storage and found a folder named Safety, packed with screenshots and a draft email labeled HR concern. Unstable spouse. She crossed the line without drama, no fights or tears, just a silent export of her story to the outside world. At work, a colleague approached, carefully asking, "Are you okay at home?" Rumor had already shaped itself, preying on me. Heat rose in me, but I forced it down. She aimed at my reputation, rewiring how people would interpret me. At home, she didn't mention work directly, but worried about my conflict handling, like a warning shot I couldn't ignore. Late at night, vague messages arrived. "You re-scaring me again." No specifics, just labels designed to hook a reaction. She dropped the word records casually, as if keeping them was as normal as buying batteries. Safety was a stacked obstacle. One evening, I walked into my own living room, surprised by a small group she had invited without telling me. She nudged me to tell them what I told her last night. I hadn't told her anything. Both choices were traps. Denial equals gaslighting. Reaction equals danger. Instead, I smiled, poured water slowly, and said, "I am working on communicating better and appreciate your support." The room relaxed. My wife's face didn't change much, but her eyes told a different story. Disappointed. The cameras missed the proof she sought. After she left for her circle, one last message came. "If you need to talk, email me. Texting feels unsafe. Email, every word recorded." I met Maya in a sunlit cafe. Polite but guarded. She wasn't there to defend me, to protect herself from my wife's narrative. Maya said my wife wanted distance from the mess she was about to drag everyone into. Stepping back from the smoke but not the fire. She confessed my wife told them I was unsafe since last spring before any signs. Before the shattering shift at home. Suddenly, the timeline twisted itself. The story cleared a runway for betrayal, not the other way around. Maya said the circle was a workshop, sharing scripts on boundaries, baiting reactions, and preserving evidence with screenshots. She admitted seeing the man once, not romantically, but at a circle planning brunch. She wouldn't name him. Tight-lipped on rules, I left that meeting with suspicion turned to resolve. Then my wife slipped another piece. An accidental email arrived in my inbox. The email was warm yet professional, referencing mentors who validated her, already drafting the story she'd present later. At the bottom was a familiar company logo, not random, close enough to my world to hurt a silent knife in my professional life. My lawyer didn't panic but grew quiet. If she filed first with this narrative, I'd spend a year fighting to prove I am not a monster. Trying to breathe normally, I saw she booked a private therapy session without me 2 days before my annual review. Right before moving, it hit me she wasn't the only one documenting. I'd been building my own record, quietly, for weeks. Not highlights, full message threads, not vague feelings, time-stamped conversations, my reality, recorded in real time. After therapy sessions, I sent calm, written follow-ups receipts of what was said, trying to be responsible. Precise, unprovocable was the first change. I stopped feeling trapped and started feeling oriented. Clarity replaced fear. Next change, I didn't chase proof of affairs. I focused on patterns, how she baited me, labeled my reactions, engineered control, filed first, not dramatic, but structured. A clear separation request backed by timeline and protections against defamation. The notice read like a cold spreadsheet, echoing her language, comparing claims with contradicting facts, no names, just data. All communication moved to counsel or formal app, cutting baiting lanes, inserting rules, and neutralizing threats. A few key people got official statements asking to avoid rumor, mongering a boundary with teeth, deflating her inflated story. Her story depended on me being reactive and isolated. Now every claim faced documents and contradicting facts. She sent an emotional email accusing me of coercive control. Words stacked like a script. It arrived after I filed too late to win. I didn't argue or explain. I replied like a clerk. Received, please direct concerns to counsel. Cold, factual, untouchable. Minutes later, my phone rang, the first call in weeks. Her voice shook, fear real for the first time. He asked, "How long have you been doing this?" Not, "What are you doing?" but, "How long?" Showed she knew the change was deep and deliberate, beyond casual concern. Separation logistics took over spreadsheets, scheduled calls through counsel, no surprises. No drama, just cold dates and terms. Social life didn't explode. It adjusted. Contacts recalibrated quietly, half apologies, without naming what happened. Silent withdrawals. I stopped going to that couple's therapy. Found an individual therapist who didn't referee someone else's script. Boring, but freeing. She wasn't ruined in a movie way. The unsafe husband story just couldn't survive facts and contradictions in the light of day. Friends who once laughed at her jokes now silently changed the subject when she tried them again, her leverage thinned. She made one last attempt to rewrite the story. A peace offering claiming we both made mistakes. I said nothing, no argument, no debate, just refusal to accept her edited version, refusing to swallow a scripted falsehood. In my own quiet, I admitted what I avoided. I was conflict avoidant, outsourcing intimacy to a safe provider role. It didn't justify her tactics, but it helped me see the gap she drove through, the space where love should be lived. Weeks later, in a freshly painted apartment, no victory, no revenge, just silence, unhaunted and unclenched. My jaw unclenched without me noticing. I realized real revenge was refusing to live inside her scripted story. Then my phone lit up with a notification. Someone viewed the old safety folder, the very folder she'd built to trap me. I looked at it briefly and felt nothing sharp. No fear, just a small, quiet smile, because it doesn't scare me anymore. Her controlled narrative unraveled, not with drama, but with quiet facts, patience, and measured responses. It wasn't revenge. It was freedom, a path out of fear, control, and scripted stories that trap us. In the eye of the storm, sanity comes not from fury, from calm clarity and steady resilience. Social tides changed. Some friendships faded, others revealed their true depth in quiet honesty. Healing began when I stepped outside scripted roles, choosing my own path beyond accusation and defense. True courage is being human, flawed, vulnerable, real beyond the masks and performances forced upon us. No record can capture a heart, but records can hold truth to light lies and control attempts. The quiet after the storm isn't empty, it has space to breathe. Think and claim one's story. I am not a victim of her story. I am a survivor who chose to rewrite his own narrative. She tried to change who I was. But identity isn't a script to be rewritten on command. Boundaries aren't barriers, they shields that protect us as we navigate storms of control and mistrust. Storytelling can wound or heal. Truth, grounded in facts and respect, stands stronger than any twisted narrative. Healing happens when we hold space for reality, for ourselves, and for those willing to see beyond blame. Sometimes silence weighs heavy, but carries the power to break cycles and rebuild strength quietly. From shadows cast by control and fear, we grow shadows of wisdom, resilience, and guardrails of hope. Trust broken can be fragile as glass, but shards can be pieced into a mosaic of new beginnings. I chose peace, not war. Calm, not chaos. The quiet rebellion of self-respect and steady boundaries. Lost carved space for new value empathy. Self-care, the courage to walk away with dignity intact. Between truth and fiction, the stories we tell define us more than the events themselves. Breaking cycles of control and fear begins with breaking silence, choosing voice over victimhood. Now, when the past folder opens, I meet it with a quiet smile. Not because I won, but because I am free. Freedom isn't winning battles, it's outgrowing fear and refusing to live inside someone else's story. When your story twists, what do you choose? To lose yourself or rewrite the script and reclaim your truth? Sometimes, control wears the mask of fear. Beneath it pulses the need to be seen, heard, and safe. Safety isn't one size fits all. It has a feeling layered with trust, respect, and unspoken understanding. When trust breaks, real work begins, rebuilding or releasing, with honesty guiding the way. Amid chaos, choose your peace not by fighting screams, but by whispering calm to your own soul. Quiet strength often speaks louder than any shouted argument. Steady as a river carving stone, resisting wrong doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the silent refusal to enter a battle, not ours to fight. How long can trust survive whispered doubts? When does safety become a story told, not a feeling lived? We are all authors, sometimes rewriting memories, sometimes scripting futures. What narrative will define you? Beyond the fiercest storm, hope grows quietly, like grass pushing through cracked concrete. Choose to be seen for who you are, not who someone else scripts you to be. Truth and courage go hand in hand. Sometimes silence speaks loudest, the absence of chaos, revealing strength and clarity within. Leave scripted roles behind. Find freedom in your own voice, your own story, edited and true. Stories can be rewritten, but truth, once found, outlasts any falsified narrative. Healing isn't about fixing others, it's personal, messy, and the bravest journey you'll take alone or together. Control loses power when met with calm truth and steady boundaries drawn in ink, not anger. Masks fall away when eyes meet, honestly revealing not weakness. The strength to be vulnerable. Own your narrative before others write it for you, choosing how your story begins, and lives on. Freedom lives in truth, the quiet, unshakable truth that no story can erase. I am no longer held by fear. The old stories can scare me because I choose my own path forward. Peace doesn't come from changing others, but from changing yourself, from quiet strength and acceptance. Stories may fade, rumors dissolve, but truth remains etched in the heart of resilience and time. In every crisis, the choice is yours. Be a victim or reclaim your story and live on your terms. Quiet resilience is a power unseen, but felt deeply, a calm against the storm and an unbreakable will. Every ending births a new beginning. Sometimes, letting go opens doors we never dared to knock on. So, what story will you tell? One of fear, control, and silence, or one of courage, truth, and freedom? The choice is yours.